Okay, 7 mistakes I made as a real estate investor. 1, not having enough reserves in my business account. I know people were saying that they prefer that you at least have at least 6 months of reserves in your bank account in order for you to at least be able to get some type of funding. If you were to try to get funding, whether it's in a hard money loan for like hard money lenders or private lenders, it's best to have at least 6 months worth of money in your account. I actually disagree on that. I think you should have at least 2 years. You need to have at least 2 years worth of reserves in your business account, because you just never know what will happen. And I had to learn this the hard way. There were some things that I need to take care of in my business, and while I was trying to take care of that, I'm also in this process of trying to do a DSCR loan in order to transfer out of this hard money loan that I have for my invested property. Now, in my invested property, I use it as a short-term rental, a short-term and a mid-term rental, where in the DSCR loan, a lot of times, I'm just now finding out that they want you to not only have reserves in your account, like a lot of reserves in your account, but it also wants you to have a tenant staying in the apartment or in your property at least 1 year with a 1-year lease. I did not know that. If I would have known that they required me to have a guest or a tenant to stay there for 1 year, and if I would have known that this process would be taking, let's say, almost 2 years in order for me to get some type of approval, I would not have done the short-term rental. I would have just got a regular tenant for 1 year. Because I already have invested properties at my other properties, and I already have tenants. One of them is a travel nurse, and I'm just fine with her. But for this particular property, I was using it as a short-term rental. And due to me using it as a short-term rental, while I'm doing that, I'm trying to get things in order for me to get the DSCR loan taken care of so I can get out of this hard money loan. Because as long as I'm in a hard money loan process, I'm making monthly interest payments, which is like over $1,000 and something a month. And then on top of that, every 3 months, because the 1 year maturity, the 1 year maturity dates are over. So now every 3 months, there's an additional $2,333.70 that I have to pay on. That's a lot of money. So that's one of my mistakes, which is not having enough reserves in my business account. 2, using my own money to buy the property. And I did that for my second invested property, which I should not have done, because I used the money that I made from my first property, which is a fix and flip, and I used it to buy an invested property, which what I should have done, I should have leveraged a hard money loan so they could pay for both. But I didn't do that. You know what I'm saying? I'm living, I'm learning. 3rd mistake, using a payday loan to pay my contractors. Yes, that's a mistake. I was running out of money, and not only that, I still work a full-time job, y'all. So when I was running out of money, I said I need to find a way to pay my contractors. So I went to a payday loan to pay my contractors. Yep, lesson learned. Not to do that again. That was on my first property. My 4th mistake as a real estate investor, using one of my invested properties as a short-term, like I said before, I use my invested property as a short-term, mid-term rental first, before at least using it as a long-term tenant first. Because if I would have used that property as a long-term rental first, and then was able to transfer out into a DSCR loan in order to have a mortgage loan to be put in my business, my real estate investing business, then I would not be going through this mess that I'm going through right now. But I didn't know that. See, you live and you learn. Again, if you want to transfer out to the DSCR loan that you have or that you're trying to get while you on a hard money loan, at least try to get a tenant to stay there for at least 1 year and have a 1-year lease. Fifth problem, my fifth problem is staying in the hard money lending process too long. And yeah, I explained that. Number 6, not sticking to my initial criteria. That is true, because my criteria when it comes down to my investment properties was it needs to be built between 1975 to 2014. That was my criteria. Where one of my properties, when I bought it, and once I started, the process, I learned that the property was actually built in 1940, not in 1970 or 1980 like the rest of the property. I think it was the first house in the neighborhood. But the only reason why I got it, because it was in my childhood neighborhood, and I wanted to make sure that the culture of the neighborhood stayed the same. So I went ahead and took on the property. But if I would have stayed with my criteria in the first place, I probably would not have chosen that property. Because again, I prefer properties that were built between 1975 and 2014. Or let's say whatever the current year is minus 10. So if the current year was 2025, then it will be 1975 to 2015. But since it's 2024, then it's 1975 to 2014, if that makes sense. And then last but not least, my mistake I made as being a real estate investor is being too emotional. A wise real estate investor told me, do not put your emotions in it when it comes down to getting a deal. And what I did is that I used my emotions, because one of my properties was in a childhood neighborhood, and like I said, I knew the owners and everything, and unfortunately the initial owner is no longer here, and now it was passed down to her heirs, and then it was given to me because I bought it from her. But I wanted to keep the house within the neighborhood, owned by people who were actually in the neighborhood. And I used my emotions in it because I didn't stick to my criteria. My criteria was 1975 to 2014. But I bought the house knowing that it was built in 1940. So there was a lot of damages and renovation that I had to take care of in order to fix the property. It's fully renovated now, but the amount of money that I spent in order to make it into a decent level in order for people to stay, it was a lot of money. I'm not gonna lie to you, it was a lot of money. So now I'm in the process of trying to sell that property in order for me to pay back my hard money lender, and in order for me to at least get a profit. So that's my list of mistakes I made as a real estate investor. If you're a real estate investor, feel free to post your mistakes that you made working as a real estate investor. I actually have more mistakes, but I'll probably talk more about that in my YouTube channel. If any of you guys would like to learn how to get into real estate investing, feel free to go to my TikTok page on my bio. Click on the Linktree link. I have a checklist that says step-by-step checklist for aspiring real estate investors. Feel free to get that, and it shows exactly what you need to do in order to start investing in real estate. All right? Hope you guys have a blessed night.